The Honorable Kimani Ngunjiri is a politician, is a former member of parliament. He was to be a chief administrative secretary officially. He is not officially, but maybe he's serving. Are you?
I'm not serving.
You're not serving?
I respect the court order.
Yes. He may be amongst the few who do.
Walikunyima kamshahara na hivyo tu yani.
Tunakaa tu, tunavumilia and waiting because there's nothing you can do, and we need to respect the court of law. So, and because it's on the process. And we believe that the government has taken it to the parliament. Maybe they will see whether it can work.
Kimani.
Because the court worked with what has been passed in the parliament.
Kimani. If I went to Arthi House,
yes,
I will not find a office there that, where Arthi House. I can't find an office where you maybe sometimes come there and sit.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I've been the system. I've been the 7 years in Lands Committee in the Parliament. So it is my system, and me. Maybe I'm just like you. Your career is media. Even if you are not in the station, you still be outside somewhere. So that's been my work from when I was born. I've never supplied the government. I've never done contract with the government from when I was born. My issue is land. Buying, and subdividing, selling, and that's my business. So you cannot miss me in the corridors. When maybe
at the house.
At the house or on the ground where shambas are, or where shambas have been subdivided. That's the fact.
Okay. Karibu sana to Kenya's biggest conversation. Sana. Good to have you here.
Yes, thank you. Nimekuwa nikiwaona, nawasikia.
Very good.
Nawaona mbali.
Sasa uko hapa. Unatuona ana kwa ana.
Sasa nimeingia, kwanza ni mshangao. Nimeingia. Sasa what happened? But I like you guys.
Asante.
We enjoy when you are actually talking, interviewing people here. Also we sometimes we get educated with what you do here. We listen at the people, you interview the people. Maybe some questions which we cannot ask, but you ask on our behalf. So we feel good when we are hearing. So it can also give us the directive of what we think, ama kurekebisha, what we think maybe is not going, not doing right. So you do a good job. We respect you for that.
Asante sana. City will give you the day's proverb. Every week, City goes to one African country. He researches proverbs from that country, and then every day he gives us one proverb. Today, this week, he is in Namibia.
Yes, and this is courtesy of EcoBank.
The Pan-African Bank.
Yes, the Pan-African Bank with 35 branches across Africa.
Yes, and 4 outside Africa.
Yes. A stranger has big eyes, but sees nothing.
A stranger has big eyes, but sees nothing. Honorable Kimani, what do you interpret this proverb to be saying?
Well, big eye. How do you interpret that?
A stranger,
yes,
has come into a new place,
yes,
has big eyes, but they see nothing.
Well, it depends with what you want to see. You can be there and you see nothing, and you can be there and see or identify what you want. So it depends what is in your interest or what you want to see.
What took you there?
Yes, and what took you there. That's what I think.
People see opportunity.
Yes, yes. Many people go somewhere, and I always advise people in business. If you get something to do or a business, you need to go very fast because you think you have seen it alone, but maybe 1,000 people have seen it. So it will depend with the speed.
Act fast.
How to get there. So that's why there's a difference of people who takes things in action. And even when I'm sorry saying that, when you are dating, when you are young boy, I'm old now. It depends.
You're no longer dating?
No, I'm old now.
Okay.
Yes. It depends. You see a girl, then maybe you say, okay, I'll first build the house, I'll buy a car, I'll do all this kind of thing. And somebody will focus on a different issue.
Unakuta msichana ameenda.
Leo naacha ukijenga manyumba yako.
That's a good one.
So that is what maybe somebody you have asked to see.
A stranger
Yes.
with big eyes
Yes.
sees nothing. That's a good interpretation. Mheshimiwa, you've done Nakuru politics for a long time.
Yes, my
Nakuru has been in the news recently. In fact, even today, there's a story here in the Standard. The Senate blasts Nakuru County leadership over drop in revenue. Revenue has dropped from 3.6 billion to 1.6 billion over the past 1 year. The senator for Nakuru, Tabitha Keroche, says the county is setting a bad precedent by disobeying court orders and all. And then we've also been having this whole story about the War Memorial Hospital.
Yes.
And goons have invaded. Police are supposed to remove the goons. Goons leave, but they leave padlocks and chains. What's happening to Nakuru?
Well, let me say it is very sad for what have happened in Nakuru, especially for Memorial Hospital. You know, there is different categories of the hospital. There's medical. There is annex. Annex is a higher class from medical. Then there is memorial. This memorial plus the annex, it was one hospital before for white people or people who are able to go in those hospitals. Then the time of Kenyatta, he came and divided. When Wazungu went, he left a section of memorial, and the other one is for annex, a higher class from medical. And nothing was changed, and it stayed and it operated like that all through. This memorial hospital is very important for me and you and everybody because, well, anybody in the road or anywhere gets sick, emergency. That's why it should be taken before maybe it's lifted or something, because they have all the machines. They have theater where it can operate very fast. They have dialysis machine. There's oxygen. There is mortuary. There is very good facilities which they have. But recently, the lease got finished. And it is unfortunate because I'm in land I know and the law when I was in the parliament for 7 years in the land issue. When the land get finished lease, it goes to the land commission. Then the land commission will decide this land, who is interested with this land. Is it the county? And the county is given the priority. Is it the county? Is it the national government? Or is it something we should take back to the owner?
Issue another lease.
Yeah, another lease. Because when I was in the parliament, I led a motion at the past act of parliament, myself, when I was there, that if the land get finished lease, the first priority should be given the owner. Because we cannot say like this now, this building, how it is, then it gets finished lease. Somebody comes from nowhere and say, let me be renewed, this land is mine. That one, to make people kill each other, because that is very bad. So we passed it that way. So when this lease got finished, the people who are board members, and don't forget Memorial is just like a sport club, Nairobi Hospital, it's landed by board.
By board.
By board. The board lands. And it has.
Board of what? Is it a trustee? What is it? A foundation?
It's a trustee.
Okay.
Yeah. Then now, according to the information I have, when they renewed lease, I don't know. We're waiting for the court. Maybe they did not pass the right procedure when they're renewing. I don't know. But even if they did not pass the right procedure, the action which were taken by the county was not the right way. Removing people from the hospital, chasing out, removing them from dialysis, oxygen. Women wanted to get bath, throwing them outside. And the mortuary, were people in the mortuaries. You know, they did things which is unbelievable. My issue is, I would not like to know who be the owner of the land, but the hospital must be let to run and to help the Kenyans so that we can be able to save their life. Now, when orders were given, court orders, county commander, police to go and make sure that he has removed the county council's carries, the county council's carries, and because the judge was really in it, he said, I want now and by the evening you must report back. Then when he went in the court, he went in the hospital, they made arrangement with the counties to remove their scullies inside and put goons. There's a group of goons called Confirm.
Confirm.
They have a name.
They have a name, I mean,
Okay.
Confirm, which they have terrorized people. And this has been an issue to the government, that there is a Confirm, we must finish this Confirm, they have been killing people. The government was in it, and now they are the people removing the askaris of county and putting some of them with the plain cloth and putting them back and giving the keys of the hospital. And I tweeted, my friend, I don't want to say whom I tweeted, but I tweeted to who could have helped from the police, from the boss, I tweeted. I have it in my phone. Because I have the information, these people, goons, they are going at night to loot
The hospital.
the hospital. Nobody had that. I have record, and God knows that. Then, at night they came. Because they were just around, nobody could have got in. They chased the nurses, they chased the hospital doctors. They were passing in a mountain, mulima iko hapo nyuma. They got in the hospital. They looted bed sheet, everything, utensils, all those machines. They looted all those things, and they went with them. Then we are still in the government. We are still looking what is happening. There's what we can say. There's what we can talk. But I've never seen a time like that one. Even in my heart, I have a lot of problem of seeing where are we going. We don't want to know who is the owner of the land. But removing people. And after that, somebody died. 2 people died. Earlier, 1 person, this time 2 people died. And he was being buried in Joro. We went there as MP. He was my friend. Actually, that man was from Matatu. And when we went there, the same people who made him die in the hospital, the county government, they mobilized 10 Nissan of goons in the funeral to come and shout and refuse members of the parliament to talk. And the pastor was bribed, and he openly said nobody should talk in this funeral.
What was the problem? Because we've heard now. This is not recent happening. This was some time ago.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And this invitation of goons, as it were, has been present often.
Yes.
What's the reasoning behind it? To stop what? I'm not even talking about what happened most recently with the War Memorial Hospital.
Yes.
I'm talking about now this past one, before we now come to present day, because the same thing has happened again.
Yes.
There seems to be that when whomever it is uses goons, it seems to work for the goal they're trying to achieve.
Yes.
What's that thing? What's that problem?
You see, the problem, I think, is just ignoring the structure and the constitution, and maybe also ignoring maybe the court orders. You see, there are some people who make themselves that they are close to the president, and they take all powers to actually to misplace other people on their right things to be done. I think that's where there is a problem, because like now our governor, she is my daughter. I was the chair of the funeral of his father. I made her to be the speaker, myself. I received the dowry of her. But I'm saying this not because I hate her, but I'm saying this because the respect must be there. And especially the name of his father. He should listen the wisdom of what we are supposed to do. But she can do his work. But we need to control these things. So I think, as you have asked, some people are misusing power, and I think that's where there's a problem. And this, my appeal to the Kenyans: if you are posted somewhere, you are Madaraka, you are MP, you are governor, you are senator, please stay on your line within the constitution. But don't overpass that.
There's a law, Mheshimiwa. If there's a law and there's a procedure with which you acquire property, there's a procedure with which you remove somebody from a property, and we can see some blatant flouting of the law, not once, not twice. Are we saying that it's very powerful people who are then orchestrating this? Because for a police commander to be ordered by the court not once, not twice, make sure that this facility is secured.
And they do nothing.
And it's not secured. For a county administration to deploy its askaris to go to a facility and not tell them, all right, so go and take over management of the facility, but go and remove people from this facility. That says that there's something sinister,
Yes.
but by a seriously powerful person or group of people.
I think I would agree with you because you have just put it properly that, as I said before, nobody is interested with the land. But the right of Kenyans, the right of what the president is saying for medical, for people to be helped, insurance and all those kind of things, why should they be treated? They should be treated in the hospital. So it's a right of a human being in the hospital and to be given the service and to save our people whom we love. But I think that is misusing the power somewhere. But I think when things happen sometimes, the propaganda and the people may be close to the bosses, maybe they will cheat and they'll do all those things, but it will come to the end. That's what I know. And I respect the court because the court have sat on it properly. And I think things are going to be okay. And in fact, this will be the end of me in this station talking about that hospital. I've removed myself because it's in the court. And it makes me bitter when I talk about it. So in this station of yours, it'll be the last thing I can talk because it makes me feel a lot of bitterness and I don't want to fight with anybody.
You've been in the land business for many years.
Yes.
So you understand, when you can see something, you can already see, you can see them from 18.
Yes. Yes.
The games that are being played. This particular piece of land where the hospital sits, and like you've given us the history, this is even pre-independence. We had these facilities, medical, memorial, annex, and adjacent pieces of land. It was run by a trust which had a board which was running this. So lease is coming to expire, lease expires. There's the role of the National Land Commission, there's the role of the county government, all these things. If you look at the process, there is, in my thinking, there is no way the board of War Memorial did not know that their lease was about to expire. And the most obvious thing for them to have done is to apply for a renewal of the lease.
Yes.
Or to push for a renewal of the lease.
Yes.
If that land has not been grabbed for the last 60 years,
100 years.
100 years, then it means that there's been an understanding among everybody in Nakuru and elsewhere that this land is for this hospital. Have there been conversations in the last, let's say, 10 years? As far as you know, because you've been a member of parliament in this area, you're in the land business. Has there been a conversation in the last 10 years about this particular piece of land and as allocating it various other uses apart from the hospital?
Well, let me say, because I've been in Nakuru, I have not had any conversation, but I think that discussion, maybe it could be within the directors and the board members, but I have not had it. I have not had it in the parliament, been discussed. But I'll tell you, when I was a member of parliament in the lands committee, we passed, myself being that in Mombasa, parliament, act of parliament, because we saw there was a lot of problem with land issue when it gets leased. And we passed, I was sitting on behalf of the chair, and we passed, if the land is finished, is going to finish lease, 10 years before, they must be notified. This land is remaining 10 years, the lease to get finished. The reason I went in that direction is because sometimes the owner of land will die and leave to the children, and maybe they don't know the procedure. So we said, instead of being snatched and being renewed to some other people, 10 years, they must be given a notice. Then, after that, we said, it goes to 6 years. Because of using the tricks the land people they were using before by that time, and cartels, that he was served with this address. I said, if the shamba is 100 years, or 50 or even 20 years, maybe you have changed your address. So it must be served in the local newspaper. 2 newspapers. It must be gazetted and be given a notice, it is 6 years, this lease to get finished. Then after that, 6 months, you must be served. Again, personally in the house, now in the property, knowing not who is there or who is not there, but in the door, it is 6 months, and the county government, land commission is going to take this land. Those procedures were there, but my brother, they are not being followed, and that's the biggest problem we have. We don't follow the procedure. We have very good laws, but the procedure, we don't follow this procedure, ma'am. That's the biggest problem we have. We make laws, we fight for making laws, making the constitution, but we don't follow these things.
The Honorable Kimani Ngunjiri is our guest this morning. He is a Nakuru politician, was a member of parliament, was to be a chief administrative secretary, waiting for the court process to conclude on that particular one. We are talking about Nakuru politics and what's happening there. Mheshimiwa, that story that I was telling you, that this one in the Standard this morning,
yes.
You know, county revenues in Nakuru dropping from 3.6 billion shillings to 1.6 billion shillings in a year. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
It's a drop of 2 billion shillings. Okay? The senator for the county, Susan Tabitha Keroche, is saying, I'm petitioning the Senate to move with haste and investigate how revenue collection dropped this much on the hospital saga. She's also raising issues just like you've been raising. The only hope for residents of Nakuru and tens of dialysis patients lies with the Senate, as the executive and police have refused to abide by court orders. This, you, others, all of them just training guns on what's happening in the county executive of Nakuru County. Mheshimiwa, I've got to ask you, is Governor Susan Keheka under siege?
Well, I think she is putting herself there, because now the situation which we have is actually many things is discussion. Even the issue of the hospital, it can be a discussion. Even the issue of losing 2 billion revenue, it can be a discussion. But when somebody comes, it is me and it is me and it is me, then it becomes a problem on that. And we have a law of public participation, public discussion, and that's why we are here in this station, listening to each other, respecting each other, and we can see we can come with a solution. But when it comes that you cannot be challenged, you cannot talk with anybody, then it comes to be a problem. And Nakuru, it is in the problem. I want to say that. It is in the problem.
But how can that be the case? I mean, this governor has been a county assembly speaker. This governor has campaigned and won the seat of Senate. This governor has campaigned and won the seat of governor. This is somebody who understands A, the politics of the county, and B, the need to balance between interests politically and all. So I'm failing to understand what you'd mean by, within a year, all these other guns would be training on the governor and saying she appears to be not cooperating with others.
Let me tell you. Do you want to tell you the solution, the problem, where it comes? I have the answer of the solution. The voter. How do we vote? Our leaders. We vote our leaders with the tribal line, with the party, with the region. These things cannot make us, and the money cannot make us elect. And that's where you are coming with that question, asking, why 1 year? Somebody was elected with big margin of votes.
Yeah.
What happened? It is the voters. How do you vote? You vote in the tribal line, in the party line, in the region line. Who can change this country? Is Wanjiku? Is Wanjiku ready to change this country? After that, he started crying. Many people have come in the power because of the money. Corrupting people, veiling people. There are some areas I don't want to mention, even in my own place. People are brought from around 15,000. The people who are in the government has stolen money, they had enough money to vary people to the constituency, where we are putting these people here so that we can deny the people of this constituency to have right of voting. Bribery, buying voting card, ID, 2,000. Wanjiku will give me 2,000. You give an ID, not to vote, 2,000. Then you cheat him. After that, I will give you 3,000. Those bribe and those problems we have, it comes from the grassroots. And that's why we elect the people sometimes who are not capable. And when they get there, they say, I have to get my money back because I used my money. Many of them say that.
Are you saying that is the case with the Nakuru governor today?
No, ma'am, I don't want to go into that, but I would like people to check themselves. Did it happen that way? Maybe it's money. Maybe it is a party. Maybe it's the wave. Maybe those things. One of them must be somewhere.
Sure, that's true. And I think that every place, it doesn't matter really where you're looking at, that there will be issues that will be understood.
Yes.
And that can be understood. But there seem to be so many things going wrong in this county at the same time. So, I mean, we're not talking about the issue with health workers and whether they will or will not be sacked. We're not talking about whether people will be chased from, a memorial hospital that's been here for I don't know how many decades. 100 years. We're not talking about whether revenue for the county has dropped by 2 billion shillings. It's not 200,000 shillings. It's not 2 million shillings.
No.
It's not 200 million shillings.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? We're talking about 50% reduction in revenue in 12 months. That is not a small matter. So for all of these things to be bedeviling a county at the same time, then one must ask, what is the problem? Of course, there can be the perception, there can be speculation, there can be so many things. But if we're going to be honest about what the issue is, what is the issue? Is there some kind of governorship by proxy? Is there a remote control somewhere that is saying this is how you're going to operate within the county? Where is the county assembly? Where are the individuals who are supposed to check the executive? Where are those who are supposed to be making sure that at the very basic level, things are supposed to happen in a certain manner? Where is all of that? Because we can talk and then, the cloud will disappear and then we see what's really there. And my question is, what is really there? What is it?
Well, ma'am, I think what is there in one way or the other for my assessment, I might be right, I might not be right because I'm also a human being. But the way the meetings are being done there and giving people money, that Pangalaini, I have come with the sugar. The people who comes to see you, they don't come with anything. Me, I've come with the sugar. Then automatic, this is the money of the revenue being got from this side and to be taken to the people for the bribe. That would be my answer as I'm there who can maybe be able to assess. Because if you are not doing that before, giving people money, but now you are giving people money, and here we have lost money, 2 billion of revenue, what would be the answer?
1 + 1.
1 + 1. That's what I can say, ma'am. That's my assessment, I think. And when it comes money, it messes everything. You are talking about MCAs. If MCAs are capable, but they are corrupted. I'm saying that. They are corrupted. When something comes, they are taken somewhere and given money. And there's not a lot of money, my brother. 5,000. 10,000. 2,000, 3,000. You had even, I'm sorry to say that because I was there, but I did not confirm that. But it has been mentioned, even in the parliament, people are going to the toilet to be corrupted with 10,000. I didn't see it, but it passed that somewhere. The level of the corruption, ma'am, I would say, this money we have lost, it is the money which has been got to go and give people. So be patient because actually it's from this hand, your money being given on this hand. It is total corruption.
There's something very interesting about this issue of the War Memorial Hospital. You see, when you talk about the expiry of a lease, because this discussion has come up, it becomes a legal issue.
Yes.
Now, Section 13 of the Land Act clearly stipulates, it talks about whether the person who owns the land is a foreigner, whether it is a local, the process that you must follow. You are right.
Yes.
Our Constitution 2010 tells you, the notice is given to you 5 years prior to the expiry of that lease.
Yes.
And then you're told what you need to do in order to reapply for that lease.
Yes.
Now, when the owner of the land is a Kenyan citizen, it's a completely different matter when it comes to how, at the expiry of the lease, you are able to now renew that lease again. You see, the law was looking at how it is. The colonialists had a stranglehold on land. And that's why they would give a lease for 999 years. And the automatical renewal of that. And that's why, for instance, in Kenya, right now with our constitution, only locals can have freehold land. Only locals.
Yes.
And it's to try and set right that anomaly that was there before, that somebody can just own land and pass it on into perpetuity.
Yeah, exactly.
There is no mention whatsoever in this matter of the War Memorial Hospital, except one heard that they were taken to court because they forged the lease documents. And I'm wondering at what point? Because the National Land Commission is in charge of these things. Is there documentation as to the processes that were followed or not followed, or how this forgery actually took place? Because the issue of renewing a lease, it's not I come, knock on the door, I talk to you for 5 minutes and it's renewed. No. And something of this sort, it would even go up to the cabinet minister who is in charge of lands. It's a very, very lengthy process. That is the reason why you're given the notice. When you're given the notice, you can start the application then. You don't wait for the month. You start 5 years. So there's ample time. Now, we haven't heard from the board that was removed, or the board that was taken to court, as to whether they actually followed procedure, as to whether they actually applied, and what happened to that application. Now, I speak as somebody who grew up in Nakuru.
Yes.
I went to primary school, St. Xavier's Primary School in Nakuru.
Okay.
So for me, the issue of War Memorial is not some distant story.
Yes.
No, it's something that I relate to very, very personally. And I know the service that hospital has provided for people for the many, 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 many decades it has been in operation.
Yes.
And it cannot be that you have a board of management that has been managing the affairs of the hospital and they did not know that this lease was expiring, and that they did not also take steps to ensure that they have a renewal of it.
Let me say this, I quite agree with you, my brother. And what we are looking at now, it is because it is in the court, we are looking to hear the procedure.
Yes.
Whether the trustees, they followed the right channel. We are waiting to hear that, because now it will come out with the evidence, Land Commission, Minister of Lands, and also the board itself. We shall know exactly.
It will come
we are
out.
waiting there, even myself, so that we can be able to blame in either side. But my issue is not that, even lease and all those things. My issue is, why are we removing people from hospital? Why are people dying? When we are seeing from dialysis machine, oxygen, theater, why? That is only my question. Not any other things we shall wait to hear in the court. But are we proceeding even now, crossing the welded the doors, those goons after looting? It was welded. I hope the justice will be seen on this. The issue I've said of land, I have no problem. But my concern, why? My mother might be there, my father would be there, my father passed away in the same hospital, my mother was being treated in that hospital. My wife have delivered 2 children in that hospital. I've slept in that hospital several times. It have saved my life. It have saved many people in accident, putting oxygen before they are delivered in Nairobi or somewhere else. That is my concern only, not this other of the lease. Lease, as you have said, my brother, you have explained so well the constitution and the procedure. And you have said something also very important. You are born in Nakuru. So when we are talking about memorial, you know what we are talking about.
Well, I understand the hospital.
You understand the hospital.
I grew up in Nakuru.
Yes.
So
my
I know
proposal was 3. And that's even my stand now, my proposal. There is this land, it catches the parking of the State House, where ndeges na anguka, and where also we park. We park when we are going to the State House, and it's a good thing.
There's some open land there.
The open land.
Yeah.
From the time of Kenyatta, it depended.
Even before Kenyatta.
Even before Kenyatta. That one, nobody has a dispute with it.
What do you mean?
What we are saying, this land, according
This is all
to me,
part of the
it's a part of the hospital.
Okay.
But you see, it's never used by hospital. You know that.
No, it's
No.
just it's used for helicopters to land.
Helicopters, delegation parking the cars because the State House is small.
Yes.
We have no problem with that. This land, my proposal was to be cut into 3 when they are doing this. The other one for parking for the State House, let it be for the State House. We have no problem for parking. Let Annex have his own land because it is falls under the county government. Let Memorial remains with its own land because it's enough land, even some upper side. Do you know upper side is 7 acres?
Towards the, yes.
7 acres, not been done anything. So the issue of the county saying they want to demolish and they want to put, 10 stories hospital. We are not interested. Why can't we save our life now before we reach there? There are so many lands where we can build. Even that 7 acres behind, it can be done hospital.
In your proposal,
yes,
were you proposing that the two facilities, Annex and Memorial, continue to be run as they're being run now? Annex by the county, Memorial by the trustees?
Yes. That was my proposal. And that is my stand. And that even my brother, you say that because in Nakuru, we need that hospital. Like yesterday, people are getting sick day and night.
Okay.
The diseases which are there now is unbelievable, my brother.
So how about the proposal by the county that, we have a problem with PGH
Yes.
and congestion in PGH and we need to expand and create another health facility? What answer would you give them? We need to expand our health facility as a county government of Nakuru. We need to have our own bigger hospital because PGH is there and PGH is congested.
It is.
It is. But who said that there's no land in Nakuru for government? In 58, you know very well.
Yes.
There was a land, 11 acres is for railway. And it has been grabbed.
Yes.
And the railway gives 50 years, 100 years. 11 acres, which we can build hospital. It is there. Let them come, the surrounding, the constituencies, there's enough land.
Actually, if you go towards Langa and all that,
Yes.
that is where you need a big hospital because that's where the
Yes.
majority of people are.
Exactly.
You don't need another hospital close to town. You
Yes.
need it further where there's a larger population.
Look at technology.
Yes.
It was bought by 14 counties, county councils when it was municipality, county councils by that time. These are the people, that land touches the town, where also we can get 100 acres, 200 acres, and put anything we want. Now, they have gone, escaping from town, they have gone Joro, Egerton, they have cut land of Egerton, industrial park, 100 acre, and another one, I don't know how many acres. And after looking at the document, we are looking how it's going to be, how we are going to get it. They have grabbed about 1,500 acres.
Grabbed?
Yes.
What do you mean
Can
grabbed?
you see now Egerton? You know where it is.
I know exactly where it is.
What is the future of our children and agriculture? We are going to cut their land. Can we also not take a big hospital there?
We can do
And
that.
we be given the lease?
Actually, the land that Egerton University has is actually enough to build a city
I'm telling you.
and still keep the farmland.
And keep with the farmland.
Yeah, but nothing.
And technology also. Yeah?
Is there anything that says that you cannot put up a hospital, a level 4 or 5 facility in 58, in Freria,
Nothing.
in Egerton, and also look at Memorial, which is old, and expand it as well?
They're not talking expansion. That's the problem.
That's the problem. You see now, the pipeline, my brother,
What
you
are
know,
they talking?
Nakuru?
They're talking demolition.
Yes.
Yeah, demolition to expand.
No.
Of the hospital itself to then
It
bring
exists.
up something.
Now
It's
you want
already
to
there.
demolish it to build.
To build something bigger.
Yeah. But
Are you interested in the building or in the facility?
No, I'm looking at King George Hospital, which is Kenyatta National Hospital. They never demolished anything. They just kept expanding it because it had the land.
The original structure
The
still.
planners understood you needed to expand, so they ensured there was enough land for that expansion. You're not using the land that exists to expand. You want to demolish what exists so that you can build a new one. I have heard nonsense, but that one beats it all.
let me ask you, my brother, because you come from Nakuru.
Yes.
Pipeline,
Yes.
where we wanted to build the airport.
Yes.
We have land there. It's about 700 acres. Actually, it was 5. Then the mayor offered to give 200 acres. He said, if it is for the airport, I will not sell. I will give you free. So we have 700 acres pipeline. That land is never used with anything. Is that land not enough? And it is the center of Naivasha, Gilgil, Nakuru, Njoro, Molo, to put an hospital. 700 acres to put an hospital, which one? Because we transferred, because it was said that it cannot be put an airport because what do you call flamingos? Flying over, they can bring problem. Then it was left like that. Then in my constituency, Bahati, we gave where it was airdrome. We gave that land where they can put airport, which has been done. now in that side, this land can be used on that issue.
There's no shortage of land that can be
No.
used for the building of a hospital.
No.
Okay,
So then there's
City.
something peculiar about that one. Is that what you're saying?
That
Yeah.
land is more valuable because it is in town.
Yeah.
My brother also look at, you have been there, Memorial Hospital, just opposite. There are those houses for them.
Yes.
There's open land pahali tulikuwa napelekaga, we used to take cattle to
Yes.
put in kwa gari ya moshi ikienda hapo reli, kwa reli ikienda hapo
Which is directly also opposite across the road on the other side.
on the hospital. That land is there, all of it inakuwa grabbed where it is opposite the hospital medical, where it can be put the structure. So the issue is not structure.
So where is the leadership of Nakuru then? All of you, because you're also a leader of Nakuru. As a former legislator, as a politician in the area, you, the other MPs, the governor, the MCAs, where is leadership in saying, let's bring sanity, let's have a conversation, let's even talk about having a proper master plan? Nakuru is now a city and is expanding. It's not going to expand it to the lake.
No.
That one is done. It's Delamere has given you a piece of land. There are some areas that will not expand it. So how do you plan for the future Nakuru city, the pink city?
The biggest problem, my brother, you have asked me that question, but how do I plan? Whom am I?
As a leader,
plan.
I mean, how do you as leaders initiate a conversation
Yes, I
that
agree.
leads us into
Yes.
proper?
I agree. I think the only thing is actually for the public to push on their interests and public participation. And because they're also being bribed for doing wrong things, not the right things, we still have a long way to go. But I appeal in this media, the president should intervene and help Nakuru County. It may not go in that direction because when Nakuru County is good and peaceful, then everywhere in Kenya is good. You know how it started even the time of Kanu. In the Kanu office there.
Nakuru was the
It
battleground.
was the battleground. So when we make peace in Nakuru, and I'm happy for one thing, that this is the first time for the election we went. I appreciate very much for the people themselves and the president. There was no bloodshed in election which was passed 2022. No bloodshed. It had been always bloodshed. It had never had bloodshed like this time 2022. But the president to intervene. There's a state house there. He needs to call us and he needs to command and say this is ABCD. We are here as brothers in this station. I know those things you are putting in your ears, and I'm sure to say that. There's somebody also controlling from up. The time is getting finished. Now you are going for this news. Now you are going for this. There's somebody controlling there, so that we may not be. Sometimes we might go overboard. Yeah? So there must be somebody holding the steering. That person is the president. We need the president to come and put us together.
President
and
was
tell
in
us.
Nakuru just the other day.
Yeah.
The president was in Nakuru just the other day, right? He was staying at State House Nakuru.
Yes.
He held meetings in Nakuru. You're a leader of Nakuru. You campaigned with the president. He nominated you to be a CAS. That means you have rapport.
Yes.
Call him.
Yes.
Have you called him?
Well, I've called him.
And?
I don't want to be in the media talking about my discussion with my president, but I know I'm trying what I can even now. Even when I move from here, there are things I'm trying to communicate with him, even his deputy, Rigathi Gachagua. We are talking.
So clearly,
Yes.
these top national leaders can already see what's happening in Nakuru.
Yes.
They can hear the rumblings around Nakuru.
Yes.
They are aware of what's happening in Nakuru.
Yes.
Is there a reason why they are not doing anything yet?
Well, you know, I'll say something. I don't know how to explain it with the English, but you are Kikuyu, you can
it.
understand. Ukitaka kutoa mwiba, wacha uive kidogo utoe na uzaa yake yote. So we are waiting maybe.
You got it, Ndu?
I think so.
Thorn, wait for the pass, pull it out.
Press it. It will come out with a...
Plus the head.
Yes, it will come out. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they are waiting for that. And they are waiting for, also because of democracy, of freedom of discussion, freedom of the governor, freedom of the MCAs, freedom of MPs. Maybe they have been waiting not to be seen interfering, but now I think we have reached somewhere they need to intervene. The deputy president, I know, is on it. The president is on it. We have been doing some discussion, and we are hoping, and I want to promise the people of Nakuru, things are going to be better. In the end of the tunnel, we must have hope.
So they're waiting for you local leaders to solve the issue. And if you don't solve, then they come and intervene.
They come and help
So
us.
if you ever see the deputy president or the president intervening, we know that you have failed.
That is true. I agree.
Why would you fail?
I'll feel bad, but I have no choice, because if I cannot put impact of putting together, then the father comes. You are married. You have a mama here. You, when you are in the house, there are things you do in the house, and mama will deal with it.
Yep.
And if mama ikishinda mama, you tell them say in the evening, and you tell the children, I'm going to accuse you. I'm going to accuse you to your father. Then when the father will come, they will have a discussion and say, hii watoto sasa mimi kama mama wamenishinda. You need to whip. They whip. It's just the same procedure, and we are hoping for the best. If you hear anybody telling you there's no hope anywhere, that's not a Christianity. We know there's hope. Even things when they are bad, we trust in God, because it's not even us. It's not even the president, but God is also seeing what we are discussing. He is seeing what we are going through. And I know many Kenyans are praying for us. Even the people of Nakuru, I know they are praying for that. And my brother here, he will come one day and he will be happy with our Nakuru being a good city, and he will enjoy being that city. And let me tell you the importance of Nakuru. You know, I have discovered any civil servant who have passed Nakuru, or a resident of Nakuru, maybe some years like him, they invest in Nakuru. If you go like Lanet, in my constituency, Bahati, all head of civil servant, all the retirees from army, all of them, they invested there. You know, before you go western, you can stop in Nakuru. Before you come from Nairobi, you can stop in Nakuru. It's a good place, and we are happy. We don't miss food. That maybe some areas, but like in the Bahati, you can't miss something to eat.
Cannot lack anything. I mean,
Yes. That's good.
It's a country of plenty.
Yes, of plenty.
And so a lot should be happening.
But the problem is
So in
peace.
fact, you should be raising about 5 billion shillings a year, not arguing about 3.6 and 1.6. It should be much more. Kimani Ngunjiri, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Yes.
Next time.
Thank you. Anytime I'm there, mimi mzee. Nimebakisha mambo mawili peke yake. To talk the truth and to arrange to go in heaven.
Wow.
Just two things. So
Mambo
I
ni
have to
mawili.
talk the truth all the time.
Thank
Na
you.
nashukuru sana.
Asante.
And we want the government to succeed. We want the country to succeed. But we must succeed, all of us, when we work together. Even that issue I've talked of Egerton, industrial park, nobody can refuse. And I advised them, if you are giving this land to the county, make sure the title deed, because it has been renewed lease with you, make sure the title of subdivision comes with your name and lease to the county, government, because we cannot stop industrial park.
Asante
And all those
sana.
things. Thank you.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.